Good afternoon, everyone. It was a little cool last night, but not as cold as what they had predicted for us, and it's supposed to be a little cool tonight, but still not as low as what I had expected. Last year, I had moved all the lemongrass I had in pots in the greenhouse, and this year I didn't. I did take 2 pots of it in. Just set them in yesterday because I was going to try to start taking them apart. I wish I had thought about it earlier with some of the boxes that I have sold. I would have put a few pieces of lemongrass in some of them. I had shared out in times past, this is my Egyptian walking onions. Some people call them tree onions. They have about a half a dozen different names. I'd shared them out to the point where those are all I have left. And I had hundreds at one time, but anyway, I enjoy sharing things. And I had noticed the other day that there's one of the rosemaries in here, and one of the bigger ones had come back out. I had kind of quit watering them, and they had started looking rather bad. These are the lemongrasses that I set in here yesterday, and I'm going to get around to taking them out of the pot and dividing them up. So if you order a box and you want some lemongrass, tell me you want some lemongrass, and that's just a freebie. Which I got a surprise Monday whenever I took my boxes to the post office to put them in the mail. Postage rates have gone up about 70 cents on every box. But as for myself right now, I'm not going to pass the cost along. I'll just eat that. And I'm not in such shape that 70 cents not going to kill me. I love the way this one up here is just bushed back out from the cutting. Whenever I moved it in, I think it was the end of September, 1st October, sometime around in there, and you can see as thick as your thumb, and branched back out so pretty. And whenever I start back in it, nothing in here has had any fertilizer. I think I fertilized it once right after I moved in sometime, be the 1st of October, and since then it's had nothing. And it's doing pretty good. I'm looking sometime, I usually start trying to fertilize about the middle of February and get it to growing out to where last year I started taking cuttings in March, and so that's what I'm shooting for right now, is I'll start taking more cuttings in March. These are the last ones that I had potted up since I had moved everything in the greenhouse, and there was around 100 of them, and haven't even got into those yet. So you know, I'm not hurting for plants, and if you want plants, right now it's been being one's $50, 2's $75, and 3 is $100. And for that, I have been getting, these are some older ones over here that are about a foot tall, and usually you can see some root coming out the bottom. Pretty earthworm in there disturbed his home. So you can see with earthworms in the bottom, down in the bottom of the tray, they're healthy and organic. And the 2 plant and the 3 plant, I've been putting in these that are these are some older ones. I quit using the white pots. I ran out of them back in the end of July, the 1st of August, something like that, since I've used the white pots. And so they're well rooted and a very healthy plant. Like I say, not having any fertilizer or anything since they've been moved in, really. They're not as green as they could be, but at the same time, with not adding any light or anything else, I don't want to stimulate the growth until I'm ready to work with them, and I'm just not set up to take cuttings and all through the winter. And so it'll be into March before I try to start rooting again. But I still have plenty of plants to do with. A good many of these I keep saying that I'm going to plant in the yard, and we'll just have to see about that. I am thinking about taking some cuttings off of some of the moringa back here and putting some of it into some of the old grow blocks that I had that the cratums didn't make it, and try the moringa in some of them. And a few of the hibiscus that I had, the pinks and the reds and all, a few of them, I may try some of them and some of the crown of thorns. I thought I'd stick down some of the, this is my kind of a lavender color chrysanthemum. I wanted to root some of them last year, and I never did get it done. That's a lot of times my ambitions just don't, or outpace my energy a lot of times. This is the ginger that I had dug up, and like I said, I just didn't have a very good year of ginger this year. What I have is really good, but it just didn't produce the way it has in years past. Last year I got 7 pounds out of one pot, and this year it just didn't do that. The galanga, I've still got 4 pots of it here that I've got to take apart before long. My curry leaf over there is doing fairly well. It's looking yellow, but from what I can understand in talking with some people about it, that's not a bad thing. It needs, because curry is very susceptible. You can root rot it real easy. So anyway, still need to do some work with my pregnant onions down in there. They're hadn't been worked on in a long time, other than I take some of the bulbs and have shared them with some folks. The yaba mate is just growing to beat the band. I got to slow it down some. I've just been watering it, hadn't been fertilized, but it's growing fantastic. But it's got to fit in a box to get mailed off before long. I shared out some of the seed off of the lemongrass last year, but I never did hear from anybody if they got any seed to germinate or not. Don't know if it was viable seed. It was just something I was trying, and I wasn't interested in doing it myself. I got it planted all over the yard. And I'm going to let it go with that, folks. Everyone have a blessed day and stay warm.